It's a happy Devil's Thursday here in New Jersey. I'm your host, Sam Wu, streaming live on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, and Twitch on the Primetime Radio Network. Going solo tonight. Scotty could not make it because he could not join this podcast because of the debacle at that dump called Madison Square Garden. I don't know what was worse. Actually, watching that, you know what? If you actually made it to this podcast, congratulations. You've seen everything. What a debacle tonight was. Absolute debacle. Not even a punch. 2 shutouts in a row for that Rangers goaltender. I'm going to call him Turducken, because that's what he is. Unbelievable. As the Devils get their butts kicked in at Madison Square Garden, lose 4-0. After Scotty and I were talking last podcast about the positives, I see no positives here other than maybe an extra lottery ball for a lottery pick. That's the only thing I see. Unbelievable. I mean, do I even do an unhappy Devils recap? This team was so bad tonight, I don't want to even talk about it. And doing this podcast, on top of everything else, Scotty had to bail. We'll try to get him on at 10 p.m. Eastern. But he has to, I'm really sorry, bro. Besides, there's nothing to talk about. Yeah, there really isn't nothing to talk about. A dumpster fire, Steve says on Facebook Live. I'm getting my YouTube Live up as well. You know, they get their butts kicked in. Looking at the comments, Art Heaton and YouTube Live. Yeesh. What exactly are the young new AHL Devils supposed to be learning here? Good question. I don't know. What am I? You know what? Look. I've been saying this for a while. And every time over the last, I don't know, since 2013, I've been saying, okay, you know, give management, this new ownership and management a chance. Give them a chance. I'm running out of patience for real this time. I'm running out of patience. You, the fan, running out of patience. I forgot who wrote. They basically said, Sam, just start swearing tonight. I'm not going to do that because even that would not express how I really feel right now. So, rule number 1 with these young kids, and I don't want to get too hard on them, but I think we have to be upfront as fans. You do not lose to the New York Rangers. I don't care if the team sucks, but at least put a competitive showing tonight at Madison Square Garden. It's not like they really had a home ice advantage with all their fans in there, all, 19,000 whatever fans, or 18,000, whatever that building holds. But seriously, I mean, it was a joke. It was a complete joke tonight. It was difficult to watch, says Whistler. And, it all reverts back and, here, look, I got the Mickey Mouse, trying to make fun, Mickey Mouse, right here. But it almost seems like we have to go to an old Gretzky quote about, put some bodies out there, leaving your goalie to dry. In this case, fast forward 30-something years later, it's now Mackenzie Blackwood. Although he didn't look that great either, to be quite honest. And back-to-back shutouts. I mean, this was supposed to be Ranger Hate Week. I mean, I want to at least see some fisticuffs. I wanted to see exciting hockey. I want to see chippiness. I want to see something of competitive nature. What is this Devils organization selling us right now? I feel bamboozled. I feel duped. And you know what? It all goes back to what I was saying. And I'm probably going to get in trouble with this. There's a lack of focus in this organization towards winning. They're doing everything else. Marketing, clever social media campaigns, being funny on social media, putting down other people, yet they're the same ones that are saying, hey, tolerance and all this kind of stuff. Honestly, the message from this organization, the New Jersey Devils, is so mixed. I don't even know where to start. I have a message for ownership group. Rip up your business plan. Rip up everything right now, since the team sucks right now and it is so bad. Tear it all down for good and let's build it back up. Here is your mission statement in one word. Focus on this one word, New Jersey Devils. Win. Win. Because winning solves everything. Right now, this is not a winning mindset. Okay? Oh, the future looks bright. I'm tired of waiting, to be honest. I'm tired of waiting. Yeah, we have a little fun on this podcast, but I am tired of waiting. All these false promises. Oh, trust the process. Actually, the Devils didn't say that, in all fairness, but it comes from the 76ers, another team that they own. And everyone says, oh, you can look at that as a model in the future. Basketball and hockey are two different sports, two different skill sets. Conceptually, hockey is more of a team sport. You can't just have the big three and get away with it, where the big three plays, 48 minutes pretty much the entire game. Hockey is not like that. I'm sorry. It's a different sport. It's a better sport, in my opinion. Okay, for that reason. And Tom Fitzgerald, again, I see what he's doing. I respect that. But tonight's performance, it just brought back old memories in the last, almost 8 years. Like no punch whatsoever. Not even a fight. And Barry Freeman said, no more Star Wars night, blah, 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 all this, marketing folks. You know what? That's the one thing I loved about Lou Lamoriello, who, by the way, is across the river, and his team is doing much better, okay? But winning is what fans really want. Yes, under Lou, the marketing was, but he did get one thing right. He put his priorities towards winning. And that's what I appreciate. That is exciting hockey, when you're winning. When you have a sellout crowd chanting, let's go Devils, or chanting kill on the penalty kill, or booing the other goalie, or chanting his name as the seventh skater. The seventh skater is a factor on the ice because the crowd is into it and engaged. Winning solves everything. And honestly, that kind of performance tonight tells me the organization as a whole does not have a winning mindset. I hate to say it. And I've been afraid to say it because there's a lot of people I like within the New Jersey Devils organization, but you want to talk about having an uncomfortable conversation. This is an uncomfortable conversation right now. I'm having with you on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube Live, Twitch, and I'm reading the comments right now. Let's not make any excuses right now. This has been a tough year with COVID. It's been a lot of things have been tough. Nico freak injury, a lot of things have gone wrong. But I will say this. We're running out of excuses, and it can only get you so far, and accountability is needed. You hear that word? Accountability. Hey, that's a Lou Lamoriello word. Effort, teamwork, consistency, dedication, devotion. Those are the trademarks of winning. And right now I see glimpses of it, flashes of it, but if you're not consistent with it, it means nothing. You get nothing. Zilch, nada. The fans show up, right now, okay. The building is outnumbered with some Ranger fans. I get it. But I'll tell you what, this team at times, like tonight, that was hard to watch. And if you made it to this podcast, congratulations. You are a devoted fan. Because honestly, I was about to shut it off at, I don't know, when it was 5-0 for a brief couple minutes before it was called back. And you know what? This has become a broken record. This is so unwatchable that the product on the ice, it doesn't matter how clever your marketing is and how shrewd you are and how witty you are on social media, it means nothing to me. The standings mean something to me. The win columns mean something to me. Andrew Gilbert writes, zero accountability, zero talent, trade everyone, including Heischer and Hughes. I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody is untouchable. Because honestly, if they don't get it together, and Lou Lamoriello wins a cup this year or a cup next year, or maybe multiple cups across the river, who was the stupid team that let him go? Now, Scotty will argue with me, in all fairness, and say, hey, his time was up. I don't know. I had a bad feeling about it when Ray Shero came in. And then the story goes, Brendan Shanahan called up, I believe it was Joshua Harris, asking for permission to talk to Lou. And to be honest with you, if I was the owner of the team, which we'll get to in a sec, I would have said no. I understand, the concept of moving on from Lou and all that. But honestly, if this is the product you're going to be putting on the ice, I'd rather lose with Lou Lamoriello and have some bad years and watch this crap. Again, you do not lose to the Rangers, and if you do, you better put a better effort than that. Oh, the players are trying. Of course they're trying. But as I said, as an organizational, as a whole, I think there is a lack of focus on winning, and it's not the people, it's as a whole. Everybody's responsible. I even think maybe the fans are responsible. because we're really not, we're stupid enough to pay money to see this crap, to be honest. Sometimes I wonder, I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, why am I even paying for this? Why am I watching this? I like winning. I like to think of myself as a winner. And so should you. We deserve a winning team. If they lost 4-3, okay, you know what? The effort's there. Okay, there's a lot of things. There was nothing. When you watch that game tonight, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. And you know what's even sadder? I don't think this is even rock bottom. I think we haven't hit rock bottom yet, which I think is really sad. And I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just telling the truth here. Adam Morgan writes in the YouTube Live, we can lose, but to just that dominated physically and the overall outcome is asinine. Why are we not bringing up bigger guys? Nico and Jack need some size to help them. That's a great point, Adam. That's a great point. Steve writes, lose post-cap implementation and drafts rapport, fielding less than 20 skaters a joke. Yeah, you know what, Steve? You're right. I mean, Lou had some trouble adapting because when the Devils were winning the Cups, it was under a different CBA. It was under different rules. I mean, they were inventing rules to prevent Martin Brodeur from playing the puck. But at least there was some semblance of winning, a fight, and when Taylor Hall had his MVP Hart Trophy season, that only garnered one playoff win. 1 out of 16. One playoff appearance. And Scotty and I would talk, and, Scotty and I would talk about the Devils and talk about the future is bright. The future is bright. But I have really hard feelings and doubts that future is really there. Because if you don't have that adrenaline and the will to win and lay 2 goose eggs in a row against a heated rival, which means so much to the fan base, I don't know, folks. I don't know. And I hate to say it, but this offseason and next offseason, as we get younger, and that amount of cap space, I hope they start to spend some money. Brian writes, Dr. McMullen rolled over in his grave. Yeah. Dr. Mack did it right. I think it was Dan in Facebook posted a letter. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. It starts with a W. I think it was after the 87 season. Dr. McMullen wrote a heartfelt letter to the fans and explaining why they were losing, what they're doing to rectify it, and why you should come with us a little bit longer. I would love to see that from Joshua Harris, but I hope it's genuine, not somebody else that typed it up, because I need an explanation why this team sucks and what they're going to do about it. I want an explanation. 20-year season ticket holder. I'm emotionally invested. I'm financially invested. My time is invested. For what? To see this crap? This is horrible hockey. Ryan, man, hey, Sam Wu, as embarrassing as it is, our two top scorers are Zaka and Bratt, both which didn't play. True, but this is a team effort. Winning teams and good teams don't make excuses. You're right, Ryan. But I will also say good teams find a way. This is not a good team. This is not a winning organization right now. Gregory and the YouTube Live writes, the problem is we only have young players. You're supposed to have good veterans as well. Look at what the Rangers have with Panarin, Zibanejad, and Kreider, etc. We need to sign guys this summer. I caution that, Gregory, because I think you're absolutely right, but I caution that. Just don't sign people for signing's sake. Sign the right players. And start opening up your wallets. Because honestly, the Devils organization needs to fix this now. Because but then again, we're the stupid ones that keep on paying for tickets and we're and watching it too. But eventually, that patience does not last that long. After 10 years, and you're hitting that mark. And my goodness, I hope Lou Lamoriello wins the cup because he's truly a winner. But I also hope that Tom Fitzgerald signs long term, gets a commitment from the New Jersey Devils ownership, and truly builds it right now. I think Tom Fitzgerald has what it takes, but you got to give him the resources. You got to give him everything. The green light to take risks because it seems like it's so the imbalances are so crazy. This team is too young. Youngest team in the NHL. Spend some money, says Ramona Rice. Absolutely. Spend your efforts and focus on winning because that's what the fans really want. Then you can start marketing once you start winning. Because if you focus on your marketing and you focus on all that good stuff, the fun stuff, but you don't have the winning, basically you're promoting crap, especially like what's out in the ice right now. Wouldn't you want to have a winning team and then add all that marketing and all that good stuff that they actually do very well on top of that? Focus on winning. Focus on winning, and it starts from the top. Matt Dog for head coach, says Benny. Hey, I wouldn't mind having John Madden as coach because I like to try something new. Hey, you know what? When things don't work your way and it gets this bad, sometimes it's just better off to do completely opposite of what you've done so far and see how that works out. It would be kind of cool if they did that. But what do I know? I'm just a Homer Devils fan that does a podcast. Rob says, thank you for you this. Everything I've been thinking, watching the past couple of games. You know what, Rob? It's real simple and it's real easy. I'm just basically calling it how it is. I'm not sugarcoating it right now. I'm telling you that this team, it's a mindset, and this is a very big hole to get out of. When Lou Lamoriello came to the Devils were so bad, but they had to get rid of like past ownership's woes coming from the Colorado Rockies, as what Dr. McMullen said in that letter. But once they got past that, and then they brought a real winner, a teacher from Providence College, Lou Lamoriello, to change the entire dynamics of the organization where it pivoted. And that goal by John McLean against the Chicago Blackhawks, past Darren Pang, where they had to win to knock off the New York Rangers to get that eighth spot, where they went on to that Cinderella run to the Eastern Conference Finals, where Have Another Donut was born. That's a winning mindset. And it can be done. But it cannot be an individual effort. It has to come from ownership, from hockey management, to marketing, to the fans, to Dancing Earl, to Arlette. Everybody is responsible. And that's what makes it hard for me. Because I'm like, as a fan, what else can I do? It means a lot to us. That's why it hurts to lose to the Rangers on a Rangers hate week. Craig Best says Godfather Lou. Yeah. At the same time, as I'm Lou this and Lou that, we got to find a way to win without Lou. Because right now he's on Long Island, and I'm sure those Islander fans are enjoying it. They're going to get a new arena soon. They're back at Nassau. Must be nice to be an Islanders fan right now. Seeing Palmieri and Zajac in an Islanders uniform. Winning is great. Art Heaton says, take better care of your season ticket holders as well. You know what? To tell you the truth, Art, you know what? Again, I don't have issues like my season ticket rep calls me every once in a while. I have no problems. Personally, I know some other fans, like to complain, but for me, you just pay that bill. That's the end of it. Right? It's just as long as the tickets work on your app on your phone, I really don't care. Just keep me in the loop. Throw me a bone every once in a while. Upgrade me. They do that. They do a pretty good job of that. Now that's winning. But again, we got to focus. I mean, I can't imagine, to be honest with you, to be a season ticket rep or somebody in sales at the Devils right now. I mean, how do you sell this team? Well, all this losing means that we're just getting out of the way. So when the fans come back to Prudential, they'll be winning again, right? I don't know how you sell that, to be honest with you. I'm just waiting for Scotty. I don't know if Scotty's coming. I'm going to check my phone, see if he is texted. Yeah, Scotty had something pop up today. So, but hey, you know what? I got to tell you something. Doge is it's up 280% or something like that. Yep. Buy Doge. I hope to buy the team one day with Shorts Guy. He and I will change everything in a heartbeat. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. Can you imagine? Can you imagine us buying the team? It'll be a calamity. If the team is bad, I come onto this podcast as an owner and just bitch how bad it is. To be fair, Gregory said, Lou is the one place I disagree with you. We needed a rebuild. One of the reasons why taking this so long is we had no draft capital and no prospects. Good point, Gregory. Good point. On YouTube Live, good point. Steve Rose, where is Beer Guy? You mean Beer Baron? Beer Baron actually is taking a maintenance day because he was pulled off the taxi squad last night on the State of the Fan address. So he is taking a maintenance day. So he's not here, but we're just waiting for Scotty to see if he would come on. I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, Rob writes, do you think Fitzgerald going to the route of Dr. McMullen and writing a letter laying out how he fixed or even walking up to the mic and saying how we need to do better? I don't know if Fitzgerald would do it, but I'll tell you what, it will mean a lot to the fan base to be front and center and saying, hey, it didn't work out. We're responsible. this is what we're going to do. Here are the action plans in place at the draft. We're going to be shrewd. We are going to build this nucleus. We're going to build this core. I know he's probably said it in the past in past press conferences, but we need reinforcement and reassurances as fans because honestly, a lot of us are getting a little cranky right now. I mean, you lost to the Rangers twice, shut out back to back. That's an embarrassment. That is an embarrassment. It wasn't even close. Although I thought the game at The Rock was not bad. I thought they just got unlucky here and there. But again, isn't that the same thing I've been repeating over and over and over? Well, it's starting to get old. Art Heaton writes, probably shouldn't have said that, but my rep takes pretty good care of me. Yeah, the reps, they're fine. My rep is Andy. She's great. She leaves her messages. She's patient with me. Most of the times I don't get back because I'm grumpy about the team, but it's not against her. But what I do call, I always tell her, hey, sorry, I was busy. I don't tell her I'm grumpy. But if she's listening right now, yeah, I'm grumpy. But at least I'm not taking it out on you. So that's good. And also, for all those Devils fans that are season ticket holders or Devils members, go easy on your reps. They've got a hard job. You know, they're there. They're trying to make a career for themselves. Help them out. Go easy on them. Just tell them that, hey, we know the team sucks, but you're the winner in my book. You know, that's what I'm going to say to Andy next time I talk to her. Complete embarrassment. Rags were laughing on the bench. Yeah, you know what, Craig? Let me tell you something. Next game, you better knock their smiles off their teeth. Does that even make sense? Or off the, yeah. Anyway, because I will say this. If they get shut out for a third game in a row, the groans are going to get louder. The pessimism is going to exponentialize. And you know what? To tell you the truth, I'd shut down all my social media accounts, New Jersey Devils, because it will be bad. Well, I want to thank everybody for listening to me on this beautiful Thursday evening. Going solo for Devils Post. Let's Go Devils podcast post game. But look, we did our part. We did our part. Congratulations. If you made it to this podcast, you did your part. Wasn't our fault. The players, we should support them, but we should also hold them accountable. But I do give credit to Nico Hischier for being out there in a lost season because he could have just tanked it and just not come back. But that's what you would expect from your captain. He's playing with the full cage. He's trying. He's rusty. You know, he's getting his fitness conditioning back. We can cut him some slack. At least he's out there still fighting. But my goodness, we cannot lose like this to the New York Rangers at any cost. I don't care if you have a Pee Wee hockey team out there. You just don't lose to the Rangers. Although I thought Pee Wee hockey team would play a lot better than our team tonight. Just being honest. Third loss to the Rags, and Dano puts on a brown bag for the telecast, says Brian London. Yeah, I mean, you got to think with Dano, you can tell in his voice and his heart and his eyes when he's doing that thing with Matt right now, as Matt's filling in for Erica and Bryce in those intermission on MSG, intermission reports on MSG, that you could tell Dano's hurt. That's his team out there. He's calling the games with Cangelosi. You can tell he's hurt. But he's a tough guy and he's trying to cover it up. But deep down inside, this is hard to watch for Mr. Devil himself, Ken Danico, who is a good friend of the podcast and a great guy. Craig Best says, we need to go back to our old identity. Somehow, skill and speed is great, but we need Stevens and Dano and Lemieux, McKay-style players to hold some accountable. Those are some tough guys. Mentally tough, physically tough, gritty, determined, devoted, and most of all, you would think that they really liked each other. They played for each other. And I think there's some semblance with this young team, this young nucleus, in terms of, there's some camaraderie. But let's hopefully this translates into some wins with team chemistry, communication, and confidence. The 3 C's that gets it done, and consistency. Add a 4th one there. Dano needs to be behind the bench, says Rody Ryan. At this point, I would try anything. Glad we have Miles Wood, says Michael Hay. No firing these kids hard. They don't know how to play in these rival games, says Benny. Look, the Rangers showed up. You gotta give them credit for that. I hate to say it. It's like a bad nightmare, says Benny. Oh yeah. Salvador's pretty good too. Love his breakdowns. Yes, Arheen, you're absolutely correct. And I'm sure Bryce Salvador can definitely coach, more than qualified. But all right, so I don't think Scotty's appearing. Let's go to O's podcast post game. We won't blame anybody. We're just going to hold ourselves accountable. But hey, Andrew writes, one of the biggest problems is the losing culture that's taken over this once proud organization. And that's exactly right, Andrew. And that's what I'm afraid of, because I think it goes beyond players and X's and O's and coaches and analytics. I think the organization as a whole has a big problem. And you can go back to the last podcast, some of my podcasts about a year or two ago. I kind of pointed it out that, the bigger problem is a lack of focus. As fans, yeah, we like that social media stuff, but it's no good without winning. It's like celebrating the Stanley Cup without your friends. What's the point? Right? Yeah, when the Devils were winning Stanley Cups, the most enjoyable moments are with your friends, your best friends, watching the cup and winning together. And right now, we just don't have that winning mindset, and I don't know what it will take to get there, but it's going to take an overhaul aside from the players. We need to have that winning mindset, and it needs to happen now, because I hate writing the title of this podcast, Devils Get Butts Kicked at MSG, lose 4-0. 2 shutouts in a row. And Craig Bez, I'll be there if you need me, Sam, on these bad times. NJ for life. It's all about NJ on the front, not on the name on the back. Absolutely. Blake Coleman return? Question mark. I think it's just more than one player, Steve. I think it's a whole organization, and it needs to come from the top. And I hope to get that letter in the mail or email or whatever, because honestly, I think the fans need an explanation, and honestly, I think the fans need an apology at the end of the season, because this is unacceptable. It really is. Does the organization have hockey people or party people, says Art Heaton. I think they have a little bit of both, but I think the focus needs to be on winning. We're too busy rebuilding. Win. When you're rebuilding, you have to teach. You got to teach these young players how to win. How to win. And it may take bringing the old guard back like Scott Stevens, Ken Danico, Scott Niedermeyer. Bring him back to the organization. We already have Marty Brodeur in the front office, but he's on the business side. We need to teach them how to win and how to win big and how to grind it out. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining me on this Let's Go Devils podcast post game as Rangers hate week continues. Now I'm really starting to hate the Rangers. Just by the way, Sunday I'll be at Todd's Lounge 973 for pregame, postgame, all the action. I think Jalen wants to meet up with me. Keep your distance 6 feet. Bart, physically distant, but don't socially distant. We're all in it together, folks. Well, we got through it together. If you made it this far, thank you. It was brutal tonight. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, YouTube Live, Art Heaton, Richard. The comments are great. We are the most commented Devils podcast in the history of New Jersey Devils podcasts. Drop the podcast a little bit later tonight. See you tomorrow. Till next time. Keep your head up, everybody. Let's go, Devils.